Hi, welcome. It's 1285 and this is Hà Thuận Phương and Mỹ Tiên represent our units. So, we have traveled around the world lately. With our eyes only, of course. And the country that wow us the most is the United Kingdom. Yeah, first of all, this is our dear Earth. This is the European continent and this is a land that caught our attention and want to give you something we know about it. The area shown in purple is the United Kingdom, and this is not a single country, but is instead a country of countries. It contains inside of it 4 co-equal and sovereign nations. The first of these is England, shown here in red. England is often confused with the United Kingdom as a whole because it's the largest and most populous of the nations and contains the de facto capital city, London. To the north is Scotland, shown in blue, and to the west is Wales, shown in white. And often forgotten even by who live in the United Kingdom is Northern Ireland, which is orange colored here. Each country has a local term for population. While you may call them all British, it is not recommended as the 4 countries generally don't like each other. The Northern Irish, Scottish, and Welsh regard English as slave-driving and colonial masters, no matter that all 3 have their own devolved parliaments and they are allowed to vote on English laws despite the reverse not being true. And the English generally regard the rest as rural yokels that spend too much time on their sheep. However, the 4 constitution countries don't have their own passports. They are all British citizens, like it or not. Whose full name, by the way, is the United Kingdom of Great Britain and the Northern Ireland. With regard to science and technology, England and Scotland were leading the center of scientific revolution from the 17th century. The United Kingdom led the Industrial Revolution from the 18th century. At this point of time, major theorists include Sir Isaac Newton. Those laws of motion and illumination of gravity have been seen as keystone of modern science. From 19th century, Charles Darwin, whose theory of evolution by natural selection was fundamental to the development of modern biology, and more recently, Stephen Hawking, who advanced major theories in the domain of cosmology, quantum gravity, and the investigation of black holes. British is well known not only for the important contributes in the field of science and technology, but also the treasure of literature. The literature of a nation characterized by the spirit of determination, adventure, and diligence. Being the origin of English language, England has yielded many noteworthy literary work and authors. Okay, I can name a few of them. Well, actually the ones I fancy and highly recommended, a tale almost everybody knows. Frankenstein by Mary Shelley. Emily Bronte with the famous tragedy Gothic, Wuthering Heights. The Kite Runner by Khaled Hosseini. The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde. And my favorite rapid adventure novel, Watership Down by Richard Adams. They are all unique over ages. For centuries, Scottish writing has been the foremost of world literature. Scottish literature has also shaped and influenced some of the greatest writers to have ever put pen to paper. Regarding Scottish writer, it is impossible not to mention Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, with the masterpiece Sherlock Holmes series about Holmes and Dr. Watson.
The traditional British diet is quite rich in fish, meat, dairy products, herbs, and vegetables. Spices and tea are also indispensable features in the culinary culture of the people of England. Afternoon tea is served with a variety of cakes such as sandwiches, pies, or cakes. In pubs, people often serve traditional British beer, which has a very strong taste, accompanied by many dishes hearty. Now, I will introduce some British cuisine. Number 1 is fish and chips. Number 2 is Yorkshire pudding. Number 3 is green tea. Number 4 is Cumberland sausage. And finally is rose. England is big and has many attractions. Many big, beautiful, most famous cities can be mentioned as number 1, London, capital of Great Britain, is a global center of finance, culture, and fashion. London is considered the largest city in Europe. Number 2, Liverpool, famous as a maritime city and the birthplace of the Beatles, the European Cultural Capital 2008. Number 3, Birmingham, the UK's most popular city, the center of technology, attract many tourists, is a hub for culture, sport, art, shopping, and media.